And now it's time to learn the story behind gingerbread men and why we are so excitedly ripping them apart and eating their delicious bodies. You monster! So maybe you're familiar with the creepy story of Hansel and Gretel. Well, if you're not, it's a story about like this evil witch who lives in the forest, and she builds a creepy cottage out of gingerbread so she could lure the little kids inside her home, where then the witch would cook and eat them. Based off a true story. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's fake. I'm not really sure. But that's just the beginning of the gingerbread story. Gingerbread seems to be surrounded by darkness. For a long time, gingerbread was actually banned because it was considered demonic. Gingerbread was connected to the pagan holiday that inspired the celebration of Christmas, and this was called Saturnalia, which we talked about in our season 1 Christmas episode. You know, caroling, people raging in the streets. It was a good time. This event was meant to honor another god. I'm not sure why all these gods always want bodies, but they did. And it was said that people would eat gingerbread cookies shaped like men to symbolize a human sacrifice to the god Saturn, which honestly is a little bit better than eating actual people. So I'll give them that. But think of the gingerbread man as like an edible voodoo doll. You know, it's kind of cute. The first stop on gingerbread's journey to becoming the official it girl of Christmas was at medieval fairs and festivals all across Europe. I know, I thought those medieval fairs were all turkey legs and beer and tits, but no, gingerbread. Gingerbread at this time was in like a cake version, and it was super popular because at the fair you could get it shaped like flowers or birds or animals. In the Middle Ages, they believed that eating gingerbread was actually good luck. They'd give a hunk of gingerbread to knights who were riding out to battle. It was also used for luck and love. Like if you were a young girl desperate to get married, they would tell the girls like, just eat some gingerbread and wish really hard and maybe the man of your dream will show up. And I mean, allegedly, that would increase your chances of finding a man. So eat some gingerbread, wish really hard about a hot guy, and let me know how that works out. It might work. I don't know. They might have been onto something there. Okay, well, listen. Let me fix my socks. People, back in the medieval days, listen, let me tell you. Listen. Oh, no. Ugh. I know what you're thinking. People back then like in the medieval days, they were just eating all sorts of trash food, right? I mean, think about it. They were eating they were plowing through roast pigs, meat pies, gallons of wine. I don't think they drank any water. And then, imagine if you're eating all that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get a little tummy ache, aren't you? Right? Well, back then, in these olden days, they actually gave people gingerbread because, it helped with their upset stomach. Think about it. When you're sick, what do you drink? Ginger ale. I know, tequila, but ginger ale. It's the same concept. Okay, so if you're watching over on YouTube, listen. I just need to lay down a minute, okay? Listen, gingerbread, same concept. And there was an extra benefit. Gingerbread was also served at the end of the meal to help with everyone's bad breath. Now, ain't that something? I mean, they probably didn't have the best breath back then. I mean, were they brushing their teeth? We should do a dark history on dental hygiene. I want to know what was going on because people had wooden teeth back then. Anyways, so yeah, if you had bad breath, gingerbread. Besides being good luck, serving real gingerbread at your dinner party was the ultimate flex. Oh yeah. It was a way to show everyone that you were rich. Because back then, spices were really expensive and very hard to come by. And gingerbread back then, I don't know if it still does, but it contains a ton of spices. So if you served gingerbread at your dinner party, it was this, she's got money to burn. And then, everyone would be talking did you see at Linda's party, she served gingerbread? Who does she think she is? That little spoiled bitch. I hate her. But I think the shadiest and best use of the gingerbread actually came from Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth's rule in the late 1500s brought England a lot of drama. She was known for many things, especially her love of theater. It was said that she was a little bit too dramatic herself. Some even called her short-tempered. She was a big regifter, and if she regifted you, I guess it was like you messed up. But the worst thing you could do is end up as one of Queen Elizabeth's gingerbread men. Yes, I love her for this because people say gingerbread men started with Queen Elizabeth. Now, Queen Elizabeth, she never got married. Allegedly, she was very picky. Every time she brought in a new male suitor, they always thought that they were going to be like the one to lock her down and become the king. But Elizabeth, she didn't care. Look, if you became one of her suitors, you had another thing coming. I guess, like Queen Elizabeth, she would commission gingerbread cookies to be made into the shape of each one of her suitors who were trying to get in her girdle. She would even have these gingerbread cookies decorated with icing and candy to actually look like these men. Then she'd have these men and her guests over for dinner, and she'd serve gingerbread versions of the men to the men, which is funny. I wonder if they knew. Probably. After everyone was settled in and like sitting down, she'd make the suitors eat the gingerbread version of themselves. And I guess, like, if she made you eat yourself, it was bad news. It was essentially her way of saying that you've been rejected. Sorry, pal. Better luck next time. Thankfully, during this time, a less spiced, less bougie version of gingerbread became available to the everyday person. But it was still only meant to be eaten on special occasions like Christmas. Guess who makes it popular? Queen Victoria. Once again, welcome back to the story, girl. She would serve little nibbles of gingerbread to her beloved dogs at Christmas, and her husband would also dress up as Santa and hand out gingerbread on Christmas Day. Yeah, it's cute.